Hey guys, my name is Simpsy. How you all doing? Welcome to my medieval Total War 1100 AD cinematic campaign. The main objective of this video is to conquer Great Britain for the Norse expedition under Magnus Barefoot and bring back Danelaw. I hope you all enjoy. Historically, Magnus Olafsson, better known as Magnus Barefoot, was king of Norway from 1093 AD. His reign was marked by aggressive military campaigns and conquest, particularly in the Norse-dominated parts of the British Isles, where he extended his rule to the Kingdom of the Isles and Dublin. As the only son of King Olaf Magnusson, his father, the elder, he was proclaimed king in southeastern Norway shortly after his father's death in 1093 AD. In the north, his claim was contested by his cousin, Håkon Magnusson, son of King Magnusson Haraldsson. The two co-ruled uneasily until Håkon's death in 1095. Disgruntled members of the nobility refused to recognize Magnus after his cousin's death, but the insurrection was short-lived. After securing his position domestically, Magnus campaigned around the Sea of Ireland from 1098 to 1099 AD. Magnus raided through Orkney and the Scottish Islands. There is an uneasy treaty between the Norwegians and the Scottish king. Potentially a future war is brewing. Hey everyone, welcome to the campaign map. So, this is the current situation. Magnus Barefoot has a full stack just off the east coast of Scotland and initially has to launch an attack. We have a couple of options. We could go north, we could go south. I think King Magnus's best bet is to go south, launch an attack on Jorvik, the old Norse/Dane capital, and try and bring all of eastern England under our control, with the main overarching objective to bring all of Great Britain under Norwegian control. We're going to put a little bit of an investment here in Leicester to secure our defences, but there's a lot of potential enemies in this campaign. We have to bring down the Saxon alliance, Scotland, Wales, and there's also some potential foreign enemies in the case of Normandy. Diplomacy-wise, we're currently at war with Scotland. The treaty has been broken, and we also currently are at war with Friesland to the southeastern corner of the map. Both are very reluctant to peace. Tech-wise, we want to go with supply foraging to get increased ammunition and champions. Looking at the political situation, the Hardrada dynasty currently has a 50% overall sway, and the various trade factions in Norway currently sit at a minority. Looking at his legacy and dynasty, he currently has 3 bastard children. We could do with another army in Leicester while the king goes north, just in case the Anglo-Saxons have any ideas. The quicker we can crush the Saxon contingent, the better, before William the Conqueror rocks up and tries to unite Norway. It's an interesting flashpoint in history. People forget how much of an important role the Norse played in William's conquest. So we're going to try and attack the north to secure the vital iron supplies in Jorvik to eventually get all of eastern England under our control. The province in this mod, that is. Now winter, a really harsh season. We're going to try and use it to our advantage. We currently aren't at war with the Saxons, which are the Kingdom of England at the moment. But a surprise attack against them hopefully will work. Now I'm just going to quickly negotiate here and try and make peace with the Scots, offering to join the war against England, but they refused. And now we're going to have our first siege of the campaign against the Saxons. We're going to have the Siege of York. 3,000 Norwegian raiders looking for wealth, land, territory and trade, and a new homeland away from the harsh living conditions in Norway. We've got a bunch of siege equipment here. A lot of the assets for Norway in this mod, which is 1100 AD, are from Thrones of Britannia. So you can see a lot of armor, shields, swords, metallurgy coming from that game. So we're going to send a contingent up here to try and burn down the gate with the axemen and allow the rest of the siege towers to do their work. Small garrison, nothing too crazy. Let's bring it under our control. The axemen infantry have arrived and are throwing torches at the gateway, trying to engulf the gate, burn it down, and create an entry into Jorvik. The gate is now burnt down, and we're going to slowly but surely progress through the ancient Roman walls and get into the city. Spearmen, archers, trying to cover the breach as the brave Norwegian axemen slowly but surely progress through the gateway. Fierce fighting is now breaking out. The old gods facing the new. Axes, shields, spears, splintering and shattering left, right and centre. The Norse are slowly but surely progressing through the gateway, now with more additional reinforcements coming up. The tower has now reached the walls, and more Norse are flooding through onto the city walls. Minute by minute, more Norse flood in, and more Saxons get put to the sword. Unfortunately for the Saxons, it looks inevitable that Jorvik will once again fall. Decisive victory. Let's end the battle there. And now we can upgrade our units, if we so wish, with improved metallurgy. It's now spring. We've got a small army in Leicester. Some of the units that fled from York are raiding around the forest of Nottingham. Also, the Scottish king has pushed south after seeing York fall. So we want to try and run down those remaining Saxon stragglers. Currently, the Saxons at this point are just trying to delay further conquest of England. They fled further into the forest and now have set up defensive fortifications. Let's try and deal with them. So our second army from Leicester, mostly recruited from their inhabitants and also mercenaries, have been sent to deal with this small Saxon force. Nothing too difficult, but more or less just delaying and trying to distract our forces. Currently at the moment, we've got an interesting situation developing. The Scottish king has marched south after seeing Jorvik fall. We're currently at war with the Scots. We've also got to deal with the Saxons/English to the south as well. Okay, they've actually marched out of the fort, some of the spearmen, to try and stop the advance. And fighting is now breaking out towards the front of the fort. Archers raining fire and death up and over the top. Our mercenary spears are interlocking in. Also our limited mercenary cav as well is starting to flank and get through multiple attacks. A shield wall has been formed, and now the Saxon and the Norse/Norse mercenaries are fighting for control of this fort. We've got a cycle charge coming in the back here, but it seems like the Norse seem to have the upper hand. With a slight numerical advantage, we've won the day. Oh wow, the Scottish king has actually surprise attacked us here. Thankfully, we are defending, so we've got a decent advantage, and the army's in range. The weather is not on our side, but I'm sure it's a good omen. Seeing and hearing the thunder and lightning, Thor is with us. But here come the Scots, looking to take York after the recent conquest. Now reinforcements are deploying from behind, so we're going to be quick, fast, and rotating around to try and save the garrison, and hopefully not allow York to fall again. Some of our forces have caught the besiegers. However, some have gotten up and over the wall. So fighting is breaking out just outside the city walls. The defenders are trying to hold on with the gateway falling. But this might turn into an offensive siege rather than a defense, as most of the army's outside. It's going to have to turn into a Norwegian rescue mission. We're doing alright now, pushing back most of the attackers on the outside, and we're going to have to use the enemy's siege towers to get up and over the walls quickly to relieve the city from falling. Our brave defenders are holding the town square, but unfortunately a Scottish unit has made their way in there. Unfortunately, our brave defenders are outnumbered. Looks like the town square will fall to Scottish units sooner rather than later. Hopefully it's long enough that our brave units can buy us some time as Scotland charges through. We've managed to get some units in, but Scotland has firmly taken the city. Slowly but surely more Norwegians are coming in, and we've also managed to bring in some cavalry as well, which have managed to save the day in the nick of time. We've retaken the town square, and therefore winning the siege. A close victory for the Norwegians. The Scottish king came with a full stack, but unfortunately failed due to his hubris. Scotland is now in a really weak position, and we'll try and run down the remaining stragglers. So it looks like we're going to be going north. This is a golden opportunity for us. Both Scotland and Anglo-Saxon England are weak. The Scots have lost a full stack in the process. Magnus Barefoot, after winning a glorious victory, defending York/Jorvik, can now march in Edinburgh and bring Scotland fully under Norwegian occupation once again, crowning himself King of the Highlands and the Lowlands. Now with the Kingdom of Scotland destroyed, and with the backing of York, Leicester, Edinburgh, essentially Scotland and the Midlands under Magnus's control, he's got enough military forces to launch an attack on the English capital of London. Now, this siege is not the best in our balance of power, so he's going to have to get the second army to come up, and we're throwing all our eggs into the London basket. 3,000 Norwegians march on London. Hopefully this will be the end of Saxon regional power in England. If London falls here today, they will only have one small holding in Wessex. More additional reinforcements are coming up. The siege towers are slowly but surely making their way to the city walls of London. Magnus now has a battle-hardened force, early in the conquest of Great Britain, fighting Saxons, and now has experience fighting Scotsmen, conquering kingdoms and land. This is his real big test. London, the largest city in England, and the regional capital for the Saxons. They have more additional reinforcements coming in navally. Archers are trading skirmisher fire, just trying to drag away arrow tower fire from primarily the siege towers and the infantry trying to make their way up onto the walls. But the longer this siege goes on, the more infantry reinforcements we can bring on in. just trading at the moment. No side is overly winning. Hopefully this siege doesn't become long and protracted. Thankfully the gate is currently engulfed in flames. The Norse siege towers have now attached to the wall, and our brave, hearty axemen are here. Fighting is breaking out on the walls and through the gateway itself. Our axemen should be able to carve through and inflict high damage on their infantry, but they will come at a cost. Axemen have really high attack, low defense, while the swordsmen have reasonable attack but higher defense. And more Norwegians are flooding through the streets of London. Danelaw is coming back. Got to give it to the Saxons though. They are holding and delaying the advancement of the aggressive Norse. Absolute meat grinder here occurring in the gateway. But we're slowly but surely going forward. One step forward, 2 steps back a little bit. But someone T-posing there. We've finally broken through. Cavalry marching further into the town square, where the last of the Saxons are holding, being engaged by cavalry. Hopefully this is the last of Saxon control in England. We've won a close victory there. And Magnus now controls London, and a crucial and culturally significant capital. Can actually move it to London if he wanted, but it's not worth the 7,000 coin. Dorchester is the last remaining piece of territory controlled by the Saxons, and with one fell swoop, Magnus will destroy the last of Saxon occupation of this island. Now, Magnus, after taking Cornwall and nearly bringing all of Great Britain under his control, has an eye on Wales and Cumbria. A small scouting party has pushed to the border and is going to be able to ambush it quite quickly, crushing the majority of the Welsh defenders. Now with a united England and Scotland under his control, he can easily move into Wales and crown himself king of all of Great Britain. So here we are. All of Great Britain is under our control. Ireland is still to the west. Norway and France to the south. Magnus still has his 3 children, and his line will continue. So I hope you enjoyed Magnus Barefoot's conquest of Great Britain. If you enjoyed this type of content, like and subscribe. YouTube memberships and super thanks are available. Stay tuned for more campaigns like this, live streams and Let's Plays on the channel. Cheers.